There's something even more humiliating than being left by a woman, chasing after her once she's already gone. It's like running after a train you yourself push to get moving. And the worst part, the more you run, the faster it pulls away. Want her to come back? Then stop begging. Because female desire doesn't respond to affection, it responds to emptiness, to the weight of absence, to the pain of distance. Today I'm going to show you how to make a woman come back on her own. Not with pleading, not with flowers, not with promises, but with real psychology, with masculine strategy, with the art of not begging, not explaining, not falling. The final lesson is the most brutal, the one that makes her feel like she's lost you, even if you're still right there. I'm Celia, and this is your House of Wisdom. Stay until the end, because if you understand this, she'll never leave you again. Have you ever wondered why the closer you get, the more she pulls away? Why she doesn't respond when you text her, but shows up when you don't? It's not a coincidence. It's a law, one that no man can break without paying the price. You're at the first point of this video, and it's called disappear strategically. Because if you don't know how to walk away, you don't know how to seduce. And if you don't know how to seduce, she'll never come back. The most common mistake you make, and the one she's expecting you to make, is staying. Hanging around, waiting for a sign, a message, a glance, as if your presence were a guarantee of love. But it's not, because when a woman pulls away, it's not on impulse. It's because the desire no longer burns. Because without realizing it, you became part of the background, predictable, available, always there. And what's always there stops being valued. It's taken for granted. Think about this. Have you ever tried to blow out a candle by blowing too hard? It doesn't go out, it flares up. But if you take away the oxygen, it dies on its own. That's how a woman's desire works. The more you feed it when it's already fading, the more you burn out and the colder she becomes. But if you disappear with intelligence, if you withdraw your energy without drama, without blame, without explanation, her mind starts to spiral, because smart silence is a mirror that reflects her emptiness. I remember a client who once told me, "Celia, I left the house, but she didn't even look for me." And I asked him, "How did you leave?" I wrote her a letter, apologized, told her I loved her, that I didn't want to lose her. That's not leaving. That's making an emotional scene. That's staying present, even in your goodbye. Disappearing with strategy is something else. It's real silence. It's cutting off the emotional current. It's not looking back. It's letting her feel the cold of your absence, not the warmth of your hope. And here comes the hardest part. She won't come back because you love her. She'll come back because she misses you. Because when a man walks away with power, a woman doesn't remember his words. She remembers his energy, his steady gaze, his decision not to beg. And in that echo, she starts to wonder if she's lost you. And that thought, when there's still hidden desire, is stronger than any love declaration. This isn't about manipulating her, it's about restoring yourself, because a man who knows how to leave no longer depends, and a man who no longer depends becomes magnetic. She feels it, not in her mind, in her body, in that place where desire isn't logical. It either lights up or dies. And if you know how to disappear with strategy, you won't just make her miss you, you'll make her question herself, doubt her decision, start looking for you, even if she doesn't dare admit it. So listen carefully. Don't make a half-hearted exit. Don't announce your departure. Don't explain anything. Just leave, but leave strong, with dignity, with direction. And you'll see how, if there's still fire in her, it'll burn again. But this time, without you having to light it. Because the men who know how to leave are the only ones a woman sometimes dares to come back to. Disappearing with strategy isn't running away. It's reclaiming your center. It's stopping the orbit around a woman who no longer chooses you and becoming the man she can't ignore. But once you've left, without explanations, without drama, without asking to be understood, there comes a crucial moment. Because walking away isn't enough. If, while you're gone, you remain predictable, visible, or easy to read, she won't miss you. That's why we've reached the second key point in this video. Don't explain yourself, become a mystery. Because mystery is the fuel of desire, and you've been killing it with your words. Every time you tell her how you feel, what you're thinking, what you're hoping for, you're emotionally undressing. And when a woman no longer desires you, that kind of vulnerability doesn't ignite, it smothers. Because she doesn't want to see you vulnerable. She wants to see you out of reach. She wants to imagine what you're doing, not know. She wants to wonder, not understand. Because in that doubt, in that uncertainty, in that, what if he doesn't want me anymore? That's where the fire begins to burn again, the fire your clarity had put out. Female psychology, the real kind, the one I hear in private sessions, doesn't crave what's logical. It craves what creates tension. A woman doesn't obsess over what she understands. She obsesses over what she can't control. And if you're the kind of man who explains himself, who justifies his silence, who wants to come off as the mature one, who talks everything through with respect, you're losing. Because in love, what gets explained dies. Desire lives in the shadows, not in confession. The Stoics knew this. The wise man isn't the one who shouts his truth. He's the one who acts from his center without needing validation. And you, if you want to reignite that flame, you don't need to convince her of anything. You need to become a question mark, a ... A what is he up to? And to do that, you have to shut your mouth. Stop texting. Stop justifying your distance. Because only when she feels she no longer understands you, does she start to look for you. Do you know the most powerful reaction you can trigger in a woman who's pulled away? That she no longer knows if you're still available, that she can't tell if she left you, or if you've already moved on. That she has no certainties, only suspicions. Because that's what activates the deepest mechanism of female desire, fantasy. And fantasy, when there's still attraction, is stronger than any memory. So remember this, if after disappearing, you explain why you did it, you soothe her. And if you soothe her, you release her. But if you say nothing, if you replace presence with silence, words with absence, availability with mystery, you unsettle her. And when a woman is unsettled, she can't rest, because her ego wants answers, but her desire craves the unknown, and you can only give her the second if you stop offering the first. Don't pretend to be tough. Be the man who doesn't explain himself, the one who becomes a mystery, because as long as she understands you, she won't miss you. But the moment she can't read you anymore, that's when she starts wanting you again, without knowing why, without fully meaning to, without being able to help it. By now you understand, it's not about disappearing out of spite or becoming some forced mystery. It's about inhabiting your center so completely that her doubts can no longer invade your mind. But there's something deeper. Once you've broken the cycle of chasing and silence, it's time to occupy the space she left behind. We've arrived at the third point in this video, and this is where things truly start to shift. Because this point is called, fill the space she left behind. And if you don't do it, pain will. Or worse, another woman will, not by choice, but by lack. When a woman walks away, she doesn't just take her body out of your bed, she takes her voice out of your days, her presence out of your decisions. And if you're not fully awake, you keep moving as if nothing's missing. But something is missing. Energy, connection, her gaze. And if that emptiness isn't filled with purpose, it turns into anxiety, into the urge to call her, the temptation to text her. Because your world is still revolving around a center that no longer exists. That's why the strategy here isn't to replace her, it's to rise above her, not with another woman, with a bigger life, with a version of you so powerful that from afar she feels she's lost something she can't reach anymore. The logic is simple but powerful. Female desire doesn't revolve around need, it revolves around admiration. If she left you when you were always available, she won't come back out of guilt or nostalgia. She'll come back, if she does, when she sees that the man who once belonged to her now belongs to himself. That's why you have to fill that space with action, with transformation, with visible decisions. Let it be obvious that you're no longer on pause, that you're no longer waiting, that every step you take now is to rebuild an inner empire, not to beg for love. A clear example: a man who had been left by his partner started training every day, not to show off on social media, but to reconnect with his body, with his masculine energy. He changed his routine, redesigned his home, stopped going to the same places that reminded him of her, and the most powerful part, he started a project he'd been putting off for years. His circle noticed the change. His eyes changed, his posture, his voice, his presence. And she came back. Not for the body. She came back because she felt that the man who once depended on her validation no longer needed her to feel alive. That's what it means to fill the space she left behind. Not with bitterness, with evolution, with purpose, with energy now invested in you. Because if you grow stronger while she's still unsure, you win, because a woman doesn't miss what stays the same. She misses what grows once she's no longer there. And if you can make your life speak louder than your words, you won't need to chase her. The echo of your transformation will chase her instead. Before we continue, if this message is stirring something inside you, hit subscribe and give it a like. Let me know where you're watching from and comment with this one phrase, "I take my place." There are still essential lessons to come, but the last one is the one that will decide if she comes back or if you finally decide she no longer deserves to. Now that you understand the emptiness she left behind can and must be filled by a stronger version of yourself, it's time to face a subtler but far more dangerous trap. Because evolving in silence is one thing, but pretending you're unaffected while still being tied to her validation is something else entirely. This brings us to the fourth point of this video. Change your body language, not your words. Because even when you're silent, your body always tells the truth. And if your body still speaks from weakness, no strategy will work. Many men think that just because they've stopped texting, they're being strong, that not reaching out means they've found their center. But then you see them, shoulders slouched, eyes dull, slow steps, shaky voice. And that's what a woman feels. Even if she's not around, even if she doesn't see you, that energy, the kind you can't explain but can definitely sense, screams that you're still waiting, that your so-called strength is just a mask, because your body doesn't lie. Your posture is your emotional truth. And if that truth is still the truth of a wounded man, she won't come back, because no one desires someone who radiates lack, no matter how much they talk about self-growth. This mistake is so destructive because it tricks you into thinking you're moving forward when you're still stuck. You change your words, your social media, your routines, but not your presence. And female desire isn't triggered by what you say. It's triggered by what you emit. That's why you'll see men who say nothing, don't chase, don't show off, but with just one glance, they change the energy in a room, because their body language speaks from power, from control, from the deep certainty of someone who no longer seeks approval because he's already chosen himself. This is where practical psychology and stoic wisdom come in. Epictetus said it's not about what happens around you, but how you stand in front of it. And you, if you keep walking like you've lost, will keep being seen as the man she left, not the man she now wonders if she lost. The key is making sure every one of your movements communicates what your words no longer need to, that you're not the same, that you're not pretending it doesn't affect you, that you've simply stopped begging for what you once thought you needed. Let me give you a concrete example. A man might still be in the same office, wearing the same clothes, doing the same job, but one day he walks in standing tall, makes eye contact when he greets people, speaks with a steady voice, takes up space without asking permission, and everyone notices. He didn't say a word, but he's not the same. His body language has changed, and that, within the female subconscious, triggers a question that's both dangerous and irresistible. What if someone else is already noticing him? Because the body doesn't just communicate power, it communicates scarcity. And when a man shows he's no longer available, he becomes desirable. So remember this. It's not what you say, it's how you stand, how you breathe, how you hold eye contact. Because if your body still moves like she's your center, then it doesn't matter what you post, what you hold back, or what you try to fake. She'll feel it. But if your body starts to reflect that you're no longer waiting, you'll begin to trigger something no woman can fully control, the fear of losing something that no longer belongs to her. You've already seen how the body can speak louder than any words. But if you don't grasp what's coming next, you'll keep falling into the most destructive trap of all, waiting for a sign from her, waiting for a reaction, hoping she notices your change, that she reaches out, that she realizes what she lost. And that's exactly what kills your power. That's why we've arrived at the 5th point in this video. Give her the gift every woman hates, your indifference. Because as long as you're waiting, you still belong to her. Most men fall into the same emotional mistake. They try to change so she'll notice. They start working out, dress better, take a step back, but they're still watching, still checking if she's watching, if she reacts, if she says something. It's a fake kind of indifference that even the silence feels forced, and she can sense it. Because there's nothing more obvious than a man pretending he doesn't need her while silently hoping to be needed. That kind of energy can't be faked, and it's that exact energy that makes you weak, even if you're doing everything else right. When you act with the intention of getting her attention, you're giving away your power. You're saying, "Look at me, I've improved." And do you know what a woman feels when she sees that? Pity, not admiration, because she doesn't want to be the center of your motivation. She wants to admire you for who you are, not for what you're doing in hopes of winning her back. And if you don't understand that, you stay trapped in the most sophisticated form of emotional dependence. The man who changes his life to get her back, not to reclaim himself. But this can be flipped, not with tactics, with mindset. You have to change the question that drives you. It's no longer, "Will she come back if I do this?" It's, "Who do I want to become even if she never does?" Because only when you start living from that answer does your energy become free. And a free man is magnetic, not because he's trying to seduce, but because he doesn't need. And the man who doesn't need shines differently. He doesn't wait. He doesn't act from lack. And that light, whether she wants to or not, will unsettle her, because it will show her that the man who once waited for her is no longer there. There's someone else now, someone who doesn't orbit around any woman, someone who has returned to orbit around himself. Burn this into your mind. When you act from expectation, you lose respect. When you act from true indifference, you regain power. And if she still has even a trace of desire for you, she won't be able to handle it. Because the worst punishment for a woman who walked away is realizing you're no longer waiting. It's realizing that now, the one who decides if she comes back is you. True indifference isn't something you fake, it's something you embody. It's when you stop waiting, not because you've lost hope, but because you've regained your pride. And right there, when you stop living on the edge of whether she comes back or not, a new possibility is born. Because female desire awakens when it senses competition, not from another woman, but from the world. We've arrived at the 6th point in this video. Connect with another without touching her. Because you don't need to sleep with someone else to make her feel she's no longer the only one. You just need to show that she's no longer the center. Picture this. She scrolls through your feed and sees a photo of you with another woman. Not hugging, not kissing, just sharing a space, a laugh, a vibe. And even if she doesn't say it, something twists in her stomach. Because she doesn't know what happened. She doesn't understand how you, the man who used to always be available, now seem to have company. Because now she sees you differently. And that different throws her off. Her ego wasn't ready for that. Because even if she walked away, she still counted on you being there, waiting like a loyal little dog, but not anymore. And this isn't about playing games to make her jealous. It's about showing that other feminine energies see your value, that others look at you the way she stopped doing. Because a woman doesn't desire the man who begs. She desires the man who's already been chosen, who's already admired by others. Because that, on a deep, unconscious level, signals worth, masculinity, leadership. And when you connect with another without touching her, when you become visible to the world, you become visible to her again. But if you don't do this, if you just wait for her to come back without opening yourself up, without putting yourself out there, without inviting new energy in, you begin to wither. You become invisible. And when a man becomes invisible, no desire can save him. Because desire needs presence. It needs competition. It needs risk. If she doesn't fear losing you, she'll never come back. And if you don't create that risk, not as a threat, but as a natural result of your expansion, you're condemning yourself to be a convenient memory. Someone who's always available. Someone who doesn't move forward, just in case she decides to return. So imagine this, a woman who walked away, but now sees that you're no longer walking alone, that there are new laughs beside you, new eyes, other women who now see in you what she stopped seeing. You don't need proof. All she needs is to feel that you're no longer hers. And for a woman who still desires you, that's a dagger, because now she's no longer the one letting go. Now maybe it's you who no longer wants her back. Harsh, yes, but real, because a man who connects with another without touching her becomes untouchable to the one who once took him for granted. You've seen how simply being surrounded by another feminine energy, without even touching her, can shake the ego of a woman who thought she had you secured. But there's something even deeper, something you can't see, but she can feel. And if you don't understand this last piece, everything else loses power. Because even if she comes back, if you haven't done this, she'll come back for the wrong reason. We've reached the 7th and final point of this video. Let her feel the shame, not you. Because if you're still carrying the guilt of her leaving, you'll keep repeating the same cycle over and over again. This is the most uncomfortable part, the one most men avoid. Because it means looking back, with your eyes fully open. It means accepting that you were weak, that you gave more than you should have, that you became predictable, that you humiliated yourself, that you waited, explained, begged, and even if it was done out of love, it cost you something even greater, your self-respect, not in her eyes, in yours. But that pain, that shame you still carry, it's not yours, it's hers. Because when a woman walks away from a loyal, present, committed man, she doesn't leave because he wasn't enough. She leaves because she didn't know how to receive that much. And this is where everything shifts, because most men stay stuck in guilt, in overthinking, in the constant loop of, what did I do wrong? But the real turning point isn't in dissecting the past. It's in taking full control of the present. Because if today, right now, you decide that you will no longer justify yourself, no longer beg, no longer carry guilt that doesn't belong to you, you reclaim something sacred, your dignity. And when a man stands rooted in his dignity, without shouting, without blaming, without playing the victim, he commands presence. And when he commands presence, he doesn't need to ask for respect. He is respected. Think about this. How many times did she make you feel like it was all your fault? How many times did you carry that weight just to avoid losing her? How many times did you betray yourself just to avoid upsetting her? It's time to flip the roles. Let her be the one to question herself. Let her be the one to wonder if she made a mistake. Let her feel uneasy when she sees you standing tall, grounded, clear in who you are. Because you weren't born to carry the shame of having loved too much. You were born to face the world without lowering your gaze. To be a man who, even when broken, never lost his center. This is your emotional closure. You don't need more strategies now. Just one decision. To no longer be the man who apologizes, who waits, who explains. Now, you are the one who chooses, who sets the pace, who no longer lives waiting to see if she comes back. Because if she does, she'll have to earn it. And if she doesn't, at least she'll know she lost a man who no longer drowns in guilt, but rises, stronger than ever. If you've made it this far, it's not by chance. It's because something inside you, even if it's wounded, even if it's confused, refuses to keep being the man who waits. Because there's a line that, once crossed, won't let you go back. Today, you crossed it. And now, right in front of you, there's a decision. Keep acting like you still need to be chosen. Or start living like a man who's already chosen himself. This isn't comfort. It's a warning. If after hearing all of this, you still seek validation from the same woman who let you go, it's no longer ignorance. It's surrender. Most won't make it to the end. Many click away when the truth starts shaking them, but not you. You stayed, and that already sets you apart. Because only a man willing to look at his wound can begin to heal it with dignity. If something in today's message hit you, if even one point reflected your story, leave a comment with this phrase: "I no longer wait for her," and tell me which country you're watching from. Because it doesn't matter where you live. If you're ready to wake up, this place is yours too. I'm Celia, woman psychologist and therapist. I've spent over 20 years listening to what husbands never understood. This channel doesn't exist to entertain. It exists to open your eyes, to give you back your direction, so you can stop being the man who kneels emotionally and start being the one who commands respect with a single look. We're not here to cry over what's been lost. We're here to reclaim what can still be saved: your power, your desire, your strength. Subscribe now, not to boost a number, but to become part of a community of men who chose to stop being emotionally tamed. Share this video with that friend who's quietly fading, because maybe what he heard today is exactly what he needed to stand back up. And don't go just yet. Watch the 2 videos that are about to appear on screen. Choose the one that makes you most uncomfortable. Because right there, in what hurts the most, is exactly what you need to hear. This doesn't end here. This is just the beginning.